in the van right now, about to go get emissions done. Hopefully this thing passes. I just used this little cheapy OBD2 scanner I had, because this thing had 4 trouble codes the check engine light has been on, and one of them was actually for the EGR, which is like for the exhaust. So hopefully this thing passes. I just cleared the codes and they shouldn't come on for a while, so we'll see. The van is good to go. It passed. It did still show that it had a check engine light on the computer, but I guess that didn't affect the emissions test at all. But everything's good. She passed, so I can finally get this thing registered because my temp tags are expired. And today I went into town to my parents because I accidentally had this shipped over to them instead of my house. And this is a new eBay turbo for Wago, and I will be probably just making a video on installing this today. So once I get back, I'm gonna be putting this guy in. So we're gonna be slapping this on today. So like I said in one of my older videos, this thing does smoke. I did get this turbo in a kit from someone locally. It was already used, so I'm not sure how many miles were already on it, but it did finally take a shit on me. I'm not sure why, honestly, but probably just because it's an eBay turbo. But I will be putting a brand new one on, so we'll see how long this one lasts in the long run. So for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this stuff all apart, and we'll get to installing this new eBay turbo we got right here. This was 115 bucks shipped to my door.
How much?
115.
Does it smoke really bad though? Like you can still drive on it. It didn't like grenade itself.
No, like now it smokes really bad.
Oh, okay.
Like, not like horror, like I could still drive it, but it's like bad enough to where I need to fix it. So, gonna get this guy on there. I got a new gasket as well, because the old one is shit. Yeah, get this guy on there and it should be good to go. The turbo itself still has pretty much no shaft play whatsoever. It does make boost just fine, except the seals are just blown. Like every morning I come and check it, like after I drive it, and it'll have a little pool of oil in the compressor housing, and it just burns a lot of oil because oil is getting into the exhaust side of that. But as far as the actual like bearings in there, they seem pretty good because spins freely. Like I said, no shaft play. So just took a shit on me, and honestly I think most of it was because when I originally put this turbo on, I had too small of a return line, and a lot of the oil was backing up into the turbo, and it was smoking very bad when that happened. And I think I kind of blew the seals from the get-go when I did that. All right, we just got the exhaust off the turbo, and kind of hard to see on camera, but also not too hard. You can see how it's kind of glossy in there. That is all oil inside that exhaust housing. So I'm pretty sure that's a little pool of it that's kind of built up on the bottom there. That whole exhaust fin is just soaked, and every time I would start it up, it would just burn a shitload until it kind of cleared itself out. But the seals on this turbo are definitely blown.
I gotta make sure I film your actual face, not your chest.
Are you filming?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We got the turbo unbolted. She's ready to come off with the manifold. And just like that, easy as that. How long do you think that took us?
Shit,
10
me?
minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes, bitch.
Easy. So yeah, now we just gotta unbolt these 4 and put the new one on. And then yeah, another thing, I don't know if the camera's gonna focus fast enough, but this is kind of sketch. First of all, this is a homemade restrictor because when I was at PFI one day, my feed line took a shit on me and I had to get a new one from PFI, and he didn't have the right, actually no, we did have the right pieces. Hold on real quick, where's it at? This guy, this thing right here. We had the right oil line to screw onto this, but we didn't have the right like fitting to go down inside there. And as you can see from the previous owner, they like dremeled this out or some shit to make it like not rub on this bolt. I think that's why they did it, so it wouldn't hit on this exhaust bolt when it was clocked differently. And because this is all messed up in there, you couldn't get a gasket, or there was no way to seal it off properly, so I didn't want to mess with it. And I kind of homemade this little restrictor right here that's like 2 fittings welded together, and then the inside's just drilled out. But it worked, I guess. But at least now I can get rid of that thing, and it shouldn't be as ghetto. So we're gonna put this on. We also might redo the return, because this is kind of hood as well, because like I said, this is all I had when I was at PFI, so I just kind of had to get it together to go home. But I'm thinking we don't even need this 90 on the end here. If I can turn this one more this way, and then we can just like weld a fitting into this 90, like a barb fitting, and then my return will just slip over that, and it'll be a lot cleaner, and it'll have a better like downhill flow. And I don't know if a lot of you guys are gonna be complaining about how it's clocked, about how the oil is going through it since it's not straight up and down through the turbo, but literally this is the only way it works with this manifold. There's pretty much no other way. I've tried running it like through the header right here to have it straight up and down, but it sketches me out because it just rests on there and it actually like melts the rubber through the oil feed. Yeah, like I've seen the rubber like squeezing itself out of the line. Yeah. So I couldn't do it like that unless I like heat wrapped it or something. So this is pretty much the only way I can run it. And I'm just gonna run it like that again because it seemed to work fine until it started blowing its seals out.
Damn, Daniel. This camera picks up like all your fucking man veins.
Oh yeah?
What kind of shit is that?
I don't even lift.
Do you even lift, bro?
I lift Oreos into my mouth.
Fuck it.
They're pretty good. I just had an Oreo today actually. First one after the wisdom teeth.
Just one?
Yep.
You're able to control yourself enough to eat just one Oreo?
One Oreo.
I'd eat the whole goddamn box.
Yeah, well that's because you're hating.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, this thing's soaked.
I'm fluffy and funny.
Like Gabriel Iglesias?
Yeah, not that fluffy though.
Not that fluffy. So this is the piece I was using for my oil return, and I am going to be reusing it. It's still kind of ghetto, but it's not going to be as bad as having the two fittings put together to make it all work. So what I'm going to do instead is just kind of weld this piece onto the end right here. This is the same stuff I used to weld onto my oil pan for the return line. And if I weld this guy onto the end of this fitting right here, that'll allow the piece of tubing to slip over that, and then I can just have this sitting inside the car like that. It's kind of, I only have one hand right here. I want to hold this. Yeah. Or no, hold the camera real quick.
Oh shit, okay, bitch.
Yeah, bitch. So since the turbo is clocked, the feed is coming in from right here. And since it's not straight up and down, the oil's not just gonna like go straight and then have to stop and then turn. It's angled like this, so it will still like kind of flow nicely. At least that's the plan. So I'm gonna weld this on like that, and then the return will attach to that. And then Hayden got his new helmet over here, so he's gonna be watching through this thing, see if he likes it. This is the same color his CRX used to be. That's vinyl wrap on there. This is actually black. Except he sucks at wrapping it. Look at these stretch marks. You suck.
You probably won't even be able to see it. Oh yeah.
You can see that guy on
Dude,
camera.
it was hard.
Still looks sick though.
Yeah, it looks
I think
sick.
I might get this helmet, honestly. I need a new one. The new Lincoln Viking welding helmets, bro. Alright, well let's weld this real quick. Alright, we just got that welded up with the TIG welder. Got a nice little rainbow going on all the way around. So we just gotta let it cool off right now, and then we should be able to put everything back together. This was the last piece we needed. So yeah, looking good. I approve. Alright, just got the new turbo on there. Everything should be hooked up, and I'm about to start it up, and everything has new gaskets on there. Got a new gasket on the downpipe right there. The wastegate still needs a gasket too actually, but I will get that soon. Got a new gasket on the top and bottom of both the oil ports, and there's the oil return redone. So now you can see it's way less ghetto, and it has a much smoother path going into the pan right there. Yeah, so it's just, now it's just the 190 instead of two fittings. And so the oil should drain pretty good. Still, people might complain about the angle that the turbo's clocked at, that it's not straight up and down, but it seems to be working okay so far. Like I said, Charlie's is going good, and mine was working fine for a few months until the turbo kind of went bad. And I might get another, or I might go get some heat wrap as well, and I want to get a little section right here covered, just because this oil line does get pretty close to the manifold right there. So that kind of sketches me out as well. But I will do that really soon. I actually might go over to the auto parts store right now and see if they have like just a little tiny roll for sale, because usually if you get it locally it's pretty expensive for that stuff. But if I can get a small roll for like 10 or 20 bucks, I might just do that real quick. But I'm gonna start it up real quick, make sure nothing leaks, and then we're gonna go take it on a drive. It still might smoke a little bit too, just to burn off some of that oil that's in the header.
In the downpipe?
Yeah.
Or in both, I guess.
This thing rattles all bad. Probably put more coolant in it too. warm up real quick, and then we'll go drive it around.
Doesn't look like it's leaking oil.
Yeah, looks good. All right, so we've been driving it around. Everything seems good. The car is not smoking anymore, so that's the main thing. That's really good. And we let it warm all the way up, and we're gonna break this thing in by giving it my full 20 pounds. So just gonna do a quick little pull right here. Not gonna go too fast. Ready?
Yeah.
Cool. I saw it say 19 and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, I can't get the focus there. There we go. Yeah, it's like a solid 21 psi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it pulls pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
How's 100?
Yeah. It pulls really good. It's really nice and smooth.
It's clean.
Yeah, it's got like a really nice, smooth, like linear power band. Except your fucking lights are terrible, dude.
Yeah, my headlights are shit.
It doesn't even look like they work. The camera makes your headlights look amazing. I can see better out of the camera than I can from your headlights.
Just got back, and my Wago is officially smoke-free. It does not smoke at all, so that's awesome because I actually need to see if this will pass emissions as well. So new turbo's definitely doing great. It held the 20 pounds just fine, and we just got back. Everything feels good. It's definitely getting oil like it should. So we will see how long this one lasts, because now I know this is a brand new turbo. This one is not used, so I got it straight from eBay, and I will actually be able to see how long one of these lasts. And for those of you wondering, we got Charlie's over here. He still daily drives this thing every day. This is his only car, and he rips on it all the time. I know he does. And there's still zero shaft play on his turbo, and his is on 30 pounds, and it's still holding up just fine. So for all you guys who think that this oil line is clocked at too much of an angle because it's not straight up and down and it won't work, it's definitely working. It's been a good amount of time, and if that wasn't working, if the oil was insufficient going to that turbo, it would be going bad by now. And mine was definitely good for a few months like this as well, so not worried about it. And yeah, but I guess we'll see how long these last. And a couple more things I still need to do to Wago is I just found out that my traction bar is coming really loose. So as you can see right in the back over there, it's missing 2 bolts on that side, and the whole traction bar is actually starting to like sway back, so it actually needs to be pulled forward and then put the bolts back in. So I need to do that, and I may reinforce it to keep it from moving again. I might throw a couple tacks along the side of it just to keep it from moving, and I will be installing those radius rods Hayden gave me pretty soon, hopefully. We'll just see when I get the time to do that. And then I also need to install the oil pressure gauge, so I make sure I got oil pressure going to the turbo and all the other important engine components. But Wago's definitely good to go, and I guess we'll see if it passes emissions here pretty soon. But I still got some time left on the temp tag. So we'll see. Hayden's over here practicing some more. So for those of you who don't know, how'd your interview go, or your test?
Pretty fucking bad, honestly.
Yeah?
I didn't do that great. Like the TIG, it was just really different because I had to stand up, and I haven't practiced like standing up at all. And like the plates were actually really long. Like they're probably at least like a good foot long, and I had to weld like straight vertical up. And it was like a plate test where it had a backing strap and 2 plates on each side that both had like a bevel on each side. So you had to like weld up one side of the bevel, then the other side of the bevel, and then one down the middle, and then another 2 on the sides, and then one down the middle again. So it was like a 6 pass, like you did 6 passes on the same plate. And they were running helium, which is like an active TIG gas, so it made the aluminum like puddle out right away.
Yeah,
and I was not used to it. Like I could not feed the rod fast enough, and that's one thing I'm not good at, is feeding the rod.
Yeah,
like,
we're used to using the argon.
Yeah, straight argon, where like that's like an 80 like 20 like helium mix. Like it has helium in it. It helps a lot. I just wasn't used to it, so I didn't do terrible on TIG, but I definitely could have done better. And then the MIG, I did terrible on.
Yeah, I mean, but you've never done it before ever,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, well, I told, they're really cool. I told the guy, I was like, I've MIG'd like twice my whole life. And
Yeah, and it's MIG aluminum, not just regular MIG. It's
up.
MIG aluminum,
Yeah. Well,
which is kind of weird. I've never done it either.
So they had me do vertical up plate test, and then a horizontal plate test, and a butt joint, like a 1/16 butt joint vertical up with TIG and MIG. But so the first one I did with MIG, I did vertical up, and I failed down bad. Like I burnt through it right at the top on both sides. And he was like, how the hell did you do that? I was like, dude, I have no idea. And then the horizontal one actually went really well. Like that one looked good, and I did good on the horizontal MIG, but the vertical up one I just could not do with MIG. So, oh, and in the butt joints too, I did bad on TIG and MIG on the 1/16 butt joints because they were so thin. I just wasn't used to it.
But they're still considering you too, though, right?
Yeah, no, like they said that they were gonna sit down and talk about what they want to offer me for pay, that they'd get back to me.
Yeah, so they didn't completely fail you. You just did bad, but it was still better than most they've seen.
Yeah, and they said that like with a little more practice, I could pass their 12 welding tests that they need for me to work there, because they have like a CWI come in and test you, and then they just do like a regular bend test, like they cut the plate in half, like in the middle, and they do a bend test or something like that.
Well, obviously ours passed the bent test, so I think you should be hired.
Yeah, well, I think they bend it the other way though.
No, they bend it with a hammer, just like that.
But,
certified.
Well, yeah. Well, and it's a 6-pass weld. Like,
if you can't pass,
if you can't pass a bend test with a 6-pass weld, like you fucking fired. Like you were fired.
watch as you fail it.
Yeah, I know. It just snaps like instantly. Oh.
It's whatever. We'll get some more practice in.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
Running beads on aluminum is really fun, honestly. It's like my favorite.
I'm just gonna get used to feeding the wire. That's what I'm gonna focus on right now, is feeding the wire.
Yeah, another thing, I gotta put this on pretty soon, is for the hatch, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna upgrade the intercooler piping all at once or just do 2.5-inch adapters to these just for now, just cause I'm lazy and all the intercooler piping's already made for it, so we'll see. I definitely will be upgrading the intercooler piping anyway on the hatch soon. All right guys, so that's pretty much it for today. So I mainly just wanted to get that turbo on, and now that that's done, I can start on getting some other things buttoned up like I mentioned before, like all that shit, and just little things, get the bumper back on. And now that that's pretty much good to go, I can drive Wago pretty much every day now. It should be good. I'll probably pull the hatch in and start working on that, maybe even tomorrow. We'll just see. I did get the MR2 on its wheels, by the way, if I didn't already mention that. So it's good to go, just need a harness for the MR2, and then I will be doing more work on this as well. So just gotta wait on some parts, but we'll be getting stuff done.